Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, I got my hat on, which generally means it's in the morning because you guys don't want to see my hair first thing in the morning. But so good morning, got the coffee ready, and I just wanted to touch base on a couple of things today because they sort of go together. So one of the things I get a lot of questions on is how can we as retail investors get in on IPOs, for those IPO shares. And I've shared with many times, whether it's been on live streams or in the comments, that it's really hard to do that. You can theoretically get shares from Fidelity, you can get them from Schwab and TDA, but the issue is you generally got to have pretty big accounts, and they sort of prioritize, so the more money you have, the more likelihood you can get an IPO share. And I've also told some of you guys about Webull, who has a relationship with Click IPO, which is supposed to give some access to IPOs. I have not heard that there's been a lot of success there. So if you guys are having it, definitely let me know in the comments. The more information we can all share, the more we can all benefit. So, definitely let me know. But the reason for today's video is to let you know it's been hard, and most of you guys know that. It's really hard, and I mean, unless you have an in with Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan, some of the big banks that tend to run the IPOs, it's really hard to get into for IPO access. Now, what came out yesterday was sort of a blend of something else we've been talking about, which is Robinhood. And we've been talking about a Robinhood IPO for a few months now. Finally started to believe it was going to happen. Even when we had the issue with GameStop, it seemed like that might put a pause on things, but it really hasn't slowed them down. In fact, if anything, they've picked up more users after all of that. So anyways, we've been talking about Robinhood, and I did that video in January saying I was pretty sure it was coming out. The craziness happened. Then I just did another IPO preview video with about 6 companies coming out, 6 big companies, and Robinhood was definitely one of them. Anyways, one of the things we've been talking about since we've been considering with Robinhood having an IPO is the fact that they have talked about potentially offering some of their shares of the IPO directly to their users. So that is pretty cool because, again, that's something that you just can't get. Now this week, Robinhood did confidentially file for their IPO, so again, we don't have any details about how many shares they're going to offer and all this. So there's a lot to happen, but Reuters had an article that came out yesterday, and I just wanted to share with you for those of you who hadn't seen it. And as you can see on your screen, it says exclusive, Robinhood aims to allow users to buy into IPOs, sources. So when I saw this, I thought, okay, this is what we expected. They're going to let people buy into their IPO, but it's actually more nuanced than that because it's more into IPOs in general. So just, and I will link this article for you guys in the description. But I did highlight a few points here just as we scroll through. And so one of the things that's so frustrating for all of us is that, so for most of us, we know an IPO is priced, just for the big banks where they can buy it. And then the next day, it starts to trade where the first opportunity for most of us to be able to buy the shares, and many times it can be double right off the bat. So we never have a chance to get that price. And so we can see here from the article is that they noted data provider Dealogic indicated that for 2020, which was obviously a big year for IPOs, that the average first day trading pop, on listings in the U.S. was 36%. So if you've bought every IPO out there, right off the bat, in one day you're making 36%. If you bought it at the IPO price and then you sold it the next day. So it's a very frustrating thing. I know that has led a lot of you guys going to SPACs, and now SPACs are sort of having their rough period right now with a lot of things in the market, obviously. And then we've also been seeing some direct listings, which starting back really last year with Palantir and hitting it bigger with Roblox, and we know Coinbase is going to have a direct listing as well. So direct listings, in theory, are better because it just basically puts all the shares out and everybody can buy. But what we're seeing a lot with the companies having the direct listings is that they're having a private fundraising round before the direct listing. So again, it's getting more insiders or more people that have access to those, because how many of you guys get to private fundraisers? Not too many. I know I haven't. And so you're still sort of getting shut out in a way. They're getting priced, they're getting the shares at one price. For instance, with Roblox, we know that their most recent private fundraising round, they got the shares were about $45. And while it wasn't like an IPO thing where the shares were going to be available the next day, everybody at that private fundraiser knew that the shares were going to be up on a direct listing, so the company was going public. And so, yeah, they had to wait a little bit longer, but as soon as the first day of trading starts, the stock is trading into the 60s and 70s. So again, it's just another frustration for us retail investors. Well, the great thing about this article, and with Robinhood, who again faced a lot of negativity with the whole GameStop issue, and I've heard about it. We talked a little bit about it on a live stream. A lot of you guys in the comments. But it really hasn't slowed Robinhood down. Again, their numbers of users have picked up. And this seems like an opportunity for Robinhood to reach out and heal some of those old wounds and get back in the good graces. So when we go through the article, what Robinhood's planning to do is, again, they're going to look at offering its shares to some of its 13 million users. Again, no details on how many shares, how many people have access, what the rules are for that. So that's something we'll have to wait for. But I think the bigger part of this article is that they are developing a technology that they're actually building to administer the part of the offering that they then plan on using for other companies so that you have the opportunity to get into other IPOs. So if you didn't want to buy a Robinhood IPO, okay, but then you have the potential by being a Robinhood user to participate in other IPOs. And again, that would go a long way, I think, making Robinhood a lot more appealing to people that they got ticked off by them about the whole GameStop issue. All right, so scrolling down, again, you can see here, this is what we just talked about. Sometimes I get a little ahead of myself when it comes to these scrolling on the screen. As you can see here, a Robinhood IPO that's been talked about for a long time, and again, just really sharing some things earlier this year. And again, I made that whole case why I really thought Robinhood was coming out this year. 2021 of all these years it's been being predicted, and so we finally got a little bit more movement where it says Robinhood announced on Tuesday that it had filed their confidential paperwork with the SEC. So we're definitely on the path. And again, just what you can see here, the companies yet to disclose details. And again, once we get that details, which is the S1 filing, I'll definitely be covering that information with you. And then they say in this article that the offering could happen in coming weeks, and most likely it will. And there's the period of time where it'll be reviewed by the SEC and there'll be adjustments and whatnot. And then the public filing come out, and this. We're probably talking about within a couple of months here. So it's coming sooner than later, and then they're putting a valuation of about $50 billion, and we've talked numbers close to that on the previous video. So again, if a lot of this is new to you, then you haven't been part of the channel, and if you haven't been part of the channel, I want to welcome you to join the channel, so definitely subscribe, because we've been talking about a lot of this stuff. The only thing new here, it really is, and I think it's a big point, is the fact that Robinhood is looking to potentially offer access to other companies' IPOs. And again, that would go a long way to sort of level the playing field a little bit, because we don't know how much access Robinhood will have, because again, with these IPOs, not one company doesn't have all these shares. They sort of get spread out. And so by the time it gets spread out, and then you're talking about 13 million users, what's the odds that you're going to get the request that you want? We don't know. We got to see what the details are from their technology, and hopefully that will all be available in their S1 filing once it does come out. So what do you think, guys? This is where the comments really come in handy, because I really want to know. Do you feel like this is another step that can try to equal the playing field between the institutional investors and retail investors? Or do you think it's going to be like what happened direct listings? While in theory, they definitely seem better, but in some ways, we're still not getting those early shares. I mean, they're more established companies, so you're not getting in early. Is this a way for certain companies, if you have an IPO that they did not do an extra round of fundraising, they're doing it actually at their IPO, which is, again, more traditional. Is this something that you feel like is another way to help, again, even that playing field? Really curious to what you guys think, so definitely let me know. And I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please hit that like button. It really helps me and helps the channel. We continually want to grow and spread the message, and again, the more we grow, the more I can do here. I say that a lot, but I really mean it. Sometimes you have to justify your time, and I definitely want to justify it. And the more of you guys that are out there that watch the videos and engage with me and definitely like those videos, that just helps me grow on YouTube, and we know that helps us all grow together. So definitely really need your help there. So with that quick Friday video, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to get back to my cup of coffee. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll be talking to you soon. Take care.